The following is a presentation of the NABL.
Now for tonight's starting lineup.
Wow! There's a poster play, folks.
We are underway here in Atlanta, Georgia for the Championship Series final. Look at the air. Look at the hang time. Look at the flying motion.
3, 2, 1. It's over. What a game. Oh, my goodness. Time to celebrate a title.
Kicks it to Eric Nunzio, all alone to his own devices. Nunzio for three.
Boom, shakalaka.
Are you not entertained?
The San Antonio Lions are the 2017 champions of the North American Basketball League.
The fans have stormed the court.
This is the NABL.
Well, hello, friends. How long has it been? Like, I know, a week. Seriously. Well, that's just too long. Ain't that right, old timer?
Well, that's too long.
Yeah. And we're already weird on this week's show. Yeah, you betcha. Hey, welcome to week number 4 of the BackCourt, or the BC, as the kids like to call it. I am your host, Ken Buckner, and we won't get into what the kids like to call me.
Yo, mama!
Rolling right along into the 2018 season of the NABL, and on this week's episode, we have guests aplenty for you, players of the week, previews and picks, and we'll even open up the old mailbag again. Yes, when's the last time we did that? A week?
Well, that's too long.
Yeah. But first, hey, what went down in that week number 3? Someone wrote in that I always start off by recapping the NABL Southwest Division games first. So, fine. No one likes to be predictable. So, let's go ahead and switch it up, have dessert for our breakfast, and dive into the Southeast in the highly anticipated matchup that was the Tuscaloosa Titans hosting the Tampa Bay Hawks. And the Hawks hit the road for this one. Yes, this is actual footage of their trip. Which, a few things about this. Kids, don't try this at home. I don't see one single seatbelt between them. I think they're lost somewhere by the looks of it in Arizona, and which is nowhere near Alabama. And the Jeep is officially taking up both lanes. Though it is a bit surprising that they wear their uniforms even while they travel. I don't know. All right, here's a picture of the team eating on the trip. So, all right, to the actual game. It totally lived up to the hype on this one. Tampa Bay 1-0 on this young season, and they faced a 3-0 already Tuscaloosa Titans squad. The winner of this game firmly had the driver's seat of the NABL Southeast Division. All right, the Titans proved in this one that they are, in fact, the real deal. A 118-112 win over the Tampa Bay Hawks. Now, despite that loss, man, you got to give it to the Hawks, securing the respect of the league, certainly. But they do fall to 1-1 on the year. So staying in the Southeast, one of the NABL's oldest rivalries was renewed when the Music City Kings headed to Georgia to face their old friends, the Savannah Cavaliers. Now, both teams desperately needed a win at this point because neither team had one. And that's what you need to do in a league. Both teams, though, from the jump, I mean, this thing was basket for basket. The first quarter ended with the Cavs up 30-25. The pace kept going strong. The Cavs, though, remained on top, going into halftime, leading 55-45. Music City and Allen Rogers of the Kings led a little comeback there, but the Cavs answered back strong, and Savannah overpowers the Kings in the fourth quarter to run away with it, a final of 119-100. Savannah's Antoine Albright led again the Cavaliers in scoring with 30 points. There was Roderick Palmer, 27 to add to that. So let's go to the Southwest. Now can we go to the Southwest?
Yes! Yes!
Okay, I'm sorry, what?
Yes! Yes!
Thank you. The San Antonio Lions returned to their form and their winning ways on Saturday against the Dallas Diesel at home in the Alamo City, 151-116 victory. This is big after falling at home last week to the other franchise from Big D, the Dallas Mustangs. Eric Nunzio and the Lions were just hot from the start, in this one and never let up. Okay, the win puts the Lions back in the mix for the NABL Southwest Division at 2-1. Now the Diesel, despite their best efforts of like guard Steve Johunkin, one of the NABL's leading scorers, they were left to face another tough defeat in their first game of what would be a weekend doubleheader. NABL Player of the Week time. Let's talk to Eric Nuncio, guard for the Lions. Here he is. Hey, congrats, man. Surprisingly, this is the first time you've been an NABL Player of the Week.
Yeah, it's the first time.
Golly. I mean, but you've been putting on stellar performances now for 2+ seasons here in the NABL. So it's great to have you on, Eric. Tell us about this game, this 151-115 win over the Diesel. You guys just thrashed them.
Yeah, I guess we all came ready to play that game coming off the loss that we had the previous week. We were all pretty upset about that loss. I think I told the team, like, damn, why did Ken have to say we were going to win that game?
Yeah,
but
the BackCourt curse.
They came. I mean, we jumped out that last game against the Mustangs pretty hard, but they fought back and it bothered us. So like now that we come out, like I feel like we weren't able to play with the emotion that we usually play with. So, you know, when that's taken out of our team, you know, kind of it's pretty much like, you know, it's like we're just out there. So yeah. we brought our emotions back, we brought the energy back for that next game, and we're going to continue on with the rest of the season. Well, with the same energy that we usually play.
Well, the Lions, man, you never have an issue scoring points. In fact, in that game, your personal performance, 41 points, 13 assists, and 9 steals in that victory over the Diesel. You know, I talked to you right after you hoisted up the trophy there on the floor in Atlanta, Championship Series last year, and you said you were hanging up your shoes, man, that you were going to basically be in the management and front office part. And then we find you back on the court here in 2018, which I am thrilled with. I mean, I was glad that you came back. What was the decision? Tell me about all that.
Well, I'm in San Antonio. I do a lot of coaching. Like myself, Eric Stewart, and Brian Evans, we all pretty much own an organization out here called Lion Life. Mm-hmm. And we have a youth basketball teams. We have about 12 youth basketball teams right now in the city. And it's kind of like just for them. Like we every day we're in there telling them how to play hard, and you know, and it's kind of, you know, we want to set an example. So for me, like I'm in there kind of preaching. I bring that energy to them. Like I there's no filter with me, you know. So I let them that they need to hear what this basketball is going to bring them. So, and sometimes some of these kids, you know, really the kids brought me back. Like they're the ones that made me feel like I had to feel like, you know, I felt like sometimes I had to prove a point to let them know how you play the game. So that's why every time I play the game, I try to come with so much energy and so much emotion, because I just want, you know, like my time's up as far as playing. But I mean, I want to just set an example for the kids that I show every day. And that's pretty much what brought me back. And plus, I just love the game. And I feel like I can still give buckets to anybody.
The Miss Lou Warriors traveled into Dallas, Texas to play two of the toughest teams in the Southwest Division. On Saturday, the Warriors fell short to the Mustangs in a game that honestly went back and forth for the first 3 quarters. At the half, the Warriors were up in this one, but the Mustangs came back. They were able to then hold off the Warriors at the win. They pulled away 4th quarter, and they won the game. Mustangs take down the Warriors 136-120. Here's a quote from head coach of the Miss Lou Warriors, Coach Calvin Thomas. Quote, "We struggle with turnovers late, which cost us this game. The Mustangs moved to 3-0 undefeated on the season. That makes the Mustangs currently the number 1 team in the Southwest Division." I think I hear another player of the week coming our way. I do. It is Zach Downing, who led the Mustangs with 26 points on the night. He's on the backcourt. 26 points, 5 rebounds, and a little bit more on the stat line in that 136-120 win over the Miss Lou Warriors this past Saturday. First of all, congrats. Tell us from your viewpoint how the game went.
I felt like it was pretty up and down, kind of back and forth. We jumped out early on them, kind of created some separation, kept that pretty consistent throughout the game. They made it close I think towards the end of the 3rd quarter. A little bit in the 4th quarter, and then we were able to stretch that lead back out towards the end.
Well, man, it all translated into that big win over the Warriors in 3-0 now. This was your first game with the Dallas Mustangs this year. Playing, tell me about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It's a little bit different team than last year when it was the Hoyas. So it's fun just getting to familiarize myself with the new guys. And the style of play is a little bit different. I like it. It's a lot more free moving. The ball zips around a lot, and just a talented group of guys. So anybody who gets the ball is able to make plays and make it happen. So it's fun being in that type of environment.
Yeah, and boy, if you haven't seen Zach play, you can play everything from the point all the way down to almost the center position, man. I mean, you play all spots of the court. You've got a blistering three-pointer, but you can drive the lane just as easily. So you're one of those combo everything players.
Yeah, when we play against guys that aren't too tall, I can match up, pretty much with centers and stuff. But when we get into some of those bigger guys, it's better to have some more size. But I enjoy playing all the spots. I mean, it kind of goes back to high school. I played in a flex offense, so I had to play all spots on offense. So I feel comfortable with my back to the basket or, driving or just simply catching and shooting.
All right. Well, he's part of the Mustangs that are 3-0 on the season and with 26 points and 5 rebounds. Zach Downing, one of our Week 3 Players of the Week. Congrats on that, man, and appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, no worries. Pleasure.
The Warriors, they weren't done when they played the Dallas Diesel on Sunday in that weekend doubleheader for both of those teams. Now, with both teams also coming off of losses from the day before, it was the Warriors who were able to hold off the Diesel in this one. Won the game with a final score of 118-115. A little closer than a lot of people expected this puppy to be. Miss Lou Warriors point guard Jakari Crockett, he finished with 34 points, and that puts him on the backcourt as one of our Players of the Week. And here on the backcourt, to congratulate him, first time ever being named NABL Player of the Week. Man, congrats, Jakari Crockett.
Thanks.
All right. You had a really nice road trip. I mean, overall, too. I mean, even in the Saturday loss against the Mustangs, 36 points in that one, but you backed that up with a big game against the Diesel. You know what? This got a little close there at the end, but give us the view from the court and your perspective on exactly what, how this game went down.
Diesel, it was a real intense game. It was going back and forth. Like, it was a very high-scoring game, I would think. It was going back and forth, but we just pulled out the win, to be honest. On the court, I would say that I think they came prepared. They was shorthanded, but they still was fighting. They didn't want to back down.
Yeah,
we want to.
We say about the Dallas Diesel, they're one of those hard-nosed type teams, man. I mean, they'll rough it out if they have to, but.
Yeah,
But 1-2 on the year. Last year was a slow start for the Miss Lou Warriors, and then things ramped up, headed into the playoffs for the very first time in the NABL. What needs to happen to get this thing ramped up on the Warriors side this season?
Basically, probably would be to get everybody on board, because I feel like if we have everybody, our whole team, we're very hard to beat. Very hard to beat.
Yeah, Miss Lou Warriors, I mean, one of my preseason picks to be a Final Four team in the championship series. So come on now. Make me look good on this. Come on now.
We're gonna prove you right.
5 games dot the schedule of this weekend in the NABL, and since I'm still being quite unpredictable, let's start in that Southeast. After coming off that big game that was the Titans and the Hawks last week, both of those teams are back in action. Tuscaloosa heads down to Florida to take on the other team from the Sunshine State and the Bay, the Florida Gym Rats. Meanwhile, the Hawks will stay at home to invite in the Music City Kings. So the Bay Area is going to be bumping this weekend in the NABL. Beach party, everybody. I'm saying, I don't even know what that is. Can we get that off there? Moving on. In the NABL Southwest, the San Antonio Lions, they continue at home as the Miss Lou Warriors square off in the Alamo City. This is another one of those NABL oldest rivalries. And for this take on it, we must bring the Lions guard back. Let's go to the Southwest. And Alamo City of San Antonio, back to Eric Nuncio.
I mean, honestly, we saw a little bit of Miss Lou, and we don't underestimate anybody, especially at home. So we're going to have to come in there, and that's why we're going to come in there pretty much with the squad that we need. Last year when we went with Miss Lou, we didn't like that. I mean, I didn't take the trip because I had to coach, but a lot of the guys hate taking that 7-hour trip to Faraday. They said there's nothing to do out there. So it was hard. We only had like 5 or 6 players last year, and they fought hard, but they took the loss. And so this year, you know, we took a loss early in the season, which was to the Mustangs, so we don't want to take another one. So we're going to go out there pretty much stacked on how we got. We're going to go out there ready to play.
Man, it's going to be a good one. Appreciate the time, dude. It's been a long time coming to get you on this show.
Yeah, man, when you come to San Antonio, we got to go get something. I told you I had you last time.
Sounds like a plan. I'll be there. And, of course, the championship series will be there, too, man. So
oh, for sure.
We'll get it all worked out. All right, man. Appreciate the time.
Good seeing you, Ken.
All right, take care, bud. Bye.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a matchup for the very first time this year in Houston for the NABL in 2018 as the Texas Toros play host to the Dallas Diesel, as both of these squads look to earn their first W of the year. And the NABL's Midwestern division cranks back up. Yeah. And it's been stupid cold up there lately, so heating up this weekend we are, as the Ohio Bootleggers travel to Indy and take on the Indianapolis Diesels. Here's a little NABL fun fact. This weekend also marks the very first time in NABL history that 2 teams named Diesel are playing simultaneously. Though, for the record, Dallas is the Diesel, singular. And Indy are the Diesels, plural. And that was our very latest educational segment. Let's pick 'em. All right, we were a bold 5-0 again in our picks last week. We are humming right along. That makes us an overall 14-1 on the year. How about that?
How about that?
Yup. Never gets old.
Yup.
Up first, Tuscaloosa at Florida. And the Gym Rats have not had the return to the NABL that they or Coach Darryl Johnson were necessarily hoping for. They do have home court on their side this time, but the Titans have shown that they can win on the road, or at home, or in a boat, maybe even with a goat. So gimme Tuscaloosa to take down the Gym Rats. Across the bay, Tampa takes on the Traveling Kings, and a long road trip from Nashville, combined with an entire team that can fit into one single Jeep. That's not why I'm picking them, but I am going with the Tampa Bay Hawks to win over Music City. San Antonio hosts Miss Lou, and though the Warriors have stolen one before from the Lions, I don't see that happening this weekend. Certainly at home this weekend. San Antonio wins, but it's going to be a battle over that Miss Lou team. The Texas Toros had a week to think things over. 0-2 on the year so far, but they are at home against the 0-3 Dallas Diesel. The Diesel has one of the leading scorers of the NABL on their team, Steve Johunkin. He needs some help, though. And it nearly took the win last week over Miss Lou. It's a tough one, but give me the Toros to win on their home courts. And in the NABL Midwest, those bootleggers of Ohio head to the Indianapolis Diesels. Zzz, plural. And I will do what I do every single time I get one that's just too close to call. And I will go with the home team. Possibly. But the Diesels for the win. As always, your comments, concerns, and objections, please send them in. You can email me right here, or just right over there. Fill out that little form right there and do it in triplicate with a notary. No, I'm kidding with that part. And we had a few that did just that. No, by the way, I did have one other email asking about Eric in Nashville. I have not heard back from him yet to get him on the show. But Eric, you have an open invite here on the BackCourt.
How about about that?
How about that? Anyway, at least at the time of taping, I didn't hear about this, but I did get this one. It reads, Dear Mr. Buckner, and I love it when you're so formal. I wanted you to know that I love the BackCourt, and I watch it every single week. This is already the best letter ever, by the way. It's a good pick for the show. My favorite team is the San Antonio Lions because they won the championship and no one thought that they would. I will be in San Antonio for the championship series, and I was wondering, will you be there and can I meet you? Don't worry. Don't worry, not going to rough you up or anything. Just want to shake your hand. Derek. Well, Derek, good to know. Good to know you like the show and that also you do not wish bodily harm upon me. I don't know why you necessarily felt the need to point that out or bring that into the equation. But yes, cannot wait. Cannot wait. Be glad to meet you and anybody else. The 2018 NABL Championship Series, San Antonio, Texas, the entire weekend of July 27th through the 29th. Be there. We'll meet. And if things get rough, Derek's got my back. Next week, we'll of course have highlights and more from this past weekend, week number 4. Plus, as always, more special guests and most importantly, you. Till then, I'm Ken Buckner. I probably still will be a week from now. And this is the BackCourt on the NABL Network.